When I lost my mom, I was suffering from obesity, arthritis in my knees. The doctor said there's nothing you can do about it. Um, I had fatty liver disease, where, they call it non-alcoholic liver disease.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of stuff going on. I guess 5 steps to weight loss and things, and it caught my attention. And then we had our meeting, and from there, the rest is history. It's life changing. It is life changing. I am so blessed to have met you and did this
Hey.
program.
All right. So I'm here with
Denisia Thompson or Denny.
or Danny, and she's just gone through our transformation experience, and she's just gonna briefly share what she experienced, what she liked, not so much, the wins, the ups and downs, so you can see if it makes sense. So why don't you just? I think a good place to start is just sharing why you even decided to take the chance.
So I decided to take the chance because I was tired of yo-yoing. I've tried numerous programs but never saw it through because I never I don't think that I've completed just going through the process. I will start, I'll be very gung-ho, and then during the process I didn't feel like I had any support. So a lot of times I would just leave it or go back to the norm of my regular routine. I would lose some weight, gain some weight, never anything that has helped me stay with it. So I wanted something where it could be life changing, long lasting, show results. I can learn from it, and it becomes part of my lifestyle.
Beautiful. So why don't you dive into that a little bit more by kind of just sharing an inside look of what your experience was like utilizing the approach that we worked with together in comparison to the things you tried in the past. What was really different? Because most people think everything is the same. So what, in your perspective, was different about how this experience was?
So I'll give you a little history. Diabetes runs in my family. Cancer runs in my family. Heart disease runs in my family. And just before COVID, I lost my mom, and I saw what the diabetes did to her. She lost limbs. It was just hard to watch. And then during COVID, I lost my dad, and he worked out as a younger person. So I knew from then the working out really does extend the life. And I've also seen, like, he was a lot stronger. He passed at 85. So I'm a person, I loved working out. When I lost my mom, I was suffering from obesity, arthritis in my knees. The doctor said there's nothing you can do about it. Um, I had fatty liver disease, where, they call it non-alcoholic liver disease.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of stuff going on and I wasn't feeling good. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm still young. And if my mom in her 70s was suffering like that, I don't want to be in my 70s suffering. So I knew I had to do something. So at the time, I started in the pool because my joints were achy and couldn't do anything else. And I started my weight loss routine. And from there, I started after swimming, I did kickboxing. And from kickboxing, I went into resistance training. I loved the resistance training because I always
Yeah.
wanted to be a bodybuilder when I was younger. And that stuck with me, the resistance training. No one told me that resistance training was just 20%.
Yeah.
So I'm doing all the stuff in the gym and I'm
Mhm.
working out really hard, but the nutrition never changed. So I just was working out and then everything would fall off once you get home and you eat normal. And
Mhm.
one thing I want to point out, diseases are not hereditary. Our way of eating is. So
Mm.
if our eating continues from generation to generation, the dis-ease of the body will continue and be inherited. So I knew I had to change my way or my reasons for how I ate, but I never knew how to do it. I never knew the nutrition part of it till I came across your Instagram and you put up,
Yeah.
I guess, 5 steps to weight loss and things, and it caught my attention. And then we had our meeting, and from there, the rest is history. It's life changing. It is life changing. I am so blessed to have met you and did this
Same.
program because it takes you way beyond fat loss, weight loss. It really helps you get into the mindset of
Mhm.
how you got here in the first place, what is the background, and the tools for success to change it forever. So I know I'm going to be taking away not just a smaller me, a better 2.0 version of me, but the mindset. It, it really prepares you for success so that you can continue to have a healthy lifestyle, healthy mindset, um, and just apply it to your everyday like you would with everything else, not just eating.
That was beautiful. And I'm more than proud to see the shift you made in such little time. And
Mhm.
and I kind of want to take that from the difference you've experienced, not just mentally, structure wise, knowing what to do, to how to take care of yourself, how to change your habits with like food and pouring into yourself, and really understanding how to prioritize the whole health and wellness and fat loss transformation. I want to kind of talk about what were like the great outcomes that you've accomplished, whether that you recognize the people around you. What was the changes you've experienced so someone can really understand how powerful it was?
So I like the first set where you do the introduction. So it's not diving right into it. It's slowly introducing. And one of the ways you do the introduction is to start with building the foundation, which is having me deep dive and try to understand the mindset I'm at by the personal questions. From there, I was able to see certain habits that I had and go from there. And then with the guides that's always available to us, I can use that to shift my mindset because I understood what each consequence was, the positive thinking, just a shift in words. I don't hope, but I will. You know, different little things. And with the application process, it helps you to succeed. I love the fact that there was no set number. It wasn't a set figure. It was a range. So it allowed me to have grace for myself. It wasn't a number where you have to do this by this 10 per day. No, try to get to 6 to 10 minimum. And, you know, it gives you that grace where you don't feel like a failure. You feel
Mm.
like, okay, I hit it. And everything that was applied was done based on your lifestyle. So it's not like you're doing this for the time period and then after the time period, what now? It's within your lifestyle, it's within your day to day doing, and you know once you've completed the program, you're going to continue because you've been doing it for 12 weeks, right? So that's what I love most about it, and that's what sets you up for success.
So your big takeaways is the sustainability, how it gives you that range so you're not overwhelmed. You don't feel like you're
Hmm.
failing. You don't have to worry about failing because you're able to give yourself grace in the times you do fall off. And then day to day living, it fits seamlessly with how your day is already going and finding like little areas that are saying is something is better than nothing, right? So finding that
Exactly.
something that you can do, even if it is just something very small. Right?
Yep. And I like how we end our day with three things that went well, three things that didn't go as planned, and that 1% of what you can do tomorrow to make it better than it was today. And that way it allows you to acknowledge where you fell short. It allowed you to celebrate where you've like accomplished and
Yeah.
gives you the opportunity to even do better the next day. So you
Right.
feel good about yourself and it brings mindset of positivity so that you can continue to go. I also like how you put the better version of the 2.0. So I always saw my 2.0 saying like, okay, come on, let's
Yeah.
go. We have to meet, like, let's go. And the
Mhm.
2.0 is always improving. So it's always little things that you will do to get to the 2.0. That's your motivation right there. And it
You,
keeps you accountable to yourself, not to anyone, but to yourself. So the only one that
yeah.
can do good is you. And you're doing it for you.
Talk about that accountability. Like, how was the difference between accountability when you were doing this either on your own or other things versus the accountability we had together or the accountability systems we taught you how to implement for yourself?
So the Lionheart family, there's support daily through the app, through other
Mhm.
members, just by everyone's daily testimonies of whether they're doing up, whether they're doing down, and just guiding everyone and cheering them on, celebrating their wins, celebrating our wins, even when we're down, the support, and it's always a safe space. It's never a judgment zone, and it's always the support so that we can keep going. Iron sharpens iron, so we just keep going.
Let's get it. Love it. Um,
Hmm.
share some of your victories from having this accountability, the support, the structure, the easy to use systems that you've had, the the one-to-one coaching. So what were some of the outcomes you've experienced, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, or even familial with people around you? What were the changes?
So there were so many things that we grew or I grew within that I forgot I was on a weight loss journey. The weight loss came off
Yeah.
as a second nature, but the shift in mindset, the positivity versus negativity, I was always a perfectionist. And like I
Mm,
said, with learning to have grace, I became a progressiveness, if you want to call it that. Everything is in progress, not perfect. Some of the wins were so 15 pounds down.
nice. And if you don't
The
mind sharing, what's your age range?
age range would be the silver fox era in the 50s, in the
Okay,
50s, 50 to 55. Um, so yeah, I'm aging gracefully, healthy.
that's very big.
Mhm. My range in motion has increased. My strength has increased. I can go to the gym and do my workouts comfortably now. Before, always wanted to do it within a class environment where other people were there
Mm.
to push me, but I can do it on my own now. I can work
You
out
feel
on
more
my own
confident,
now.
like
I can,
working out by
yeah,
yourself.
yeah. I can do the meal plan. I can prep myself. I haven't actually eaten out in 3 months. I saved a lot of
And
money
did you
cooking at
were you
home.
forced to do that? Just so people can understand.
No,
Like,
no, 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 no.
okay,
Correction. I ate out on vacation when I went away.
mhm,
But that was like the group went out for dinner, that's when I'd eat out. And
yeah,
I've always like even prepped in my mind my proteins, my macros, my proteins, what I'm going to have. And
we taught you
I can,
exactly.
yes, I can
Yeah,
eat anything. As I always correct my husband, I'm allowed everything. I just choose to have these things. And with eating
perfect.
healthy, the sugar cravings drop. The,
Mm,
I was able to watch sweets. And if I want it, I can have it. If I don't want it, it's okay. I was never felt to made to feel guilty of having something sweet or having something naughty. It was never a cheat day, but a treat day if I wanted to or not. And now I find on subconscious, I find choosing food or the reason for my eating, I'm eating with purpose and not
mm,
because I want to taste it. So I find myself like, okay, this is 25 grams of protein. In my head,
yeah,
that will give me like, that will help my muscles grow. That will do this. And rather than sometimes if I feel like, okay, I'd like to go buy a frappe or something. But then in my
yeah,
head now, it's like, okay, what is that going to do for my body? Is it going to help me or am I going to have to work extra hard to like get it out of my system? So it's retrained my mind to eat with purpose. So
yeah.
that's good.
That's real good. Um, so let's take it this way, because obviously you've created such a strong foundation where you already planted the seeds. Because a lot of times we want to get to the journey. I know we talked about earlier. It took you a year to gain the weight, and you did
Mm-hmm.
lose it in 3 pounds. However, you know how to keep
Three
it off.
months. Mm-hmm.
3 months, and you know how to keep it off. Plus, you can go on for the rest of the year knowing what to do.
Yes.
So that doesn't happen too often when people think about weight loss or fat loss or improving their physical or mental shape. Most people think,
Mm-hmm.
how can I lose it as quick as possible? So that's a belief system that you're able to shift within our mindset masters, just finding a different pace. And that kind of leaves me to ask is what other beliefs, I know you mentioned perfectionism, but what other
Mm-hmm.
beliefs or mindset shifts did you make within these 3 short months, if you do remember? If you
Other
thought, okay,
beliefs.
yeah,
So if I tell you that I can bring, what's the word? I can bring stuff into existence if if you can understand. So I could think now of anything I want. And now my mind's reprogrammed to help me create the little steps that allows me to, I won't say snap my finger, but it feels like snap my finger and it could be at my disposal. So not just weight loss, not just anything, but plans that I want. You know how they say law of attraction. So it's basically the mindset now, the vibration. You're in tune to what you want. And then the mind starts working like, okay,
hmm,
I can put these little steps into play now so that it will help me get to the bigger picture. So this program has also helped with my procrastination because I
yeah,
always delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed, and it will get there. But it's helped me understand that if you plant the seeds, the plant will grow. Procrastination will get you there. A lot of people
beautiful.
intend to start, they mean to start the gym, they mean to work out, but I'll work out tomorrow, or I'll start it tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes, they started tomorrow. So it's best to just start it. And one thing I want to mention, I like how you set the expectation that it's not a smooth ride. It's
Hmm.
you're gonna have days where you don't want to do anything. You're gonna have days where you're like, screw this, I don't want to do this anymore. You're gonna have days
Yeah.
where you don't gain anything, you don't see any results, and it's all like I would say about week 6, week 7, I really
Mhm.
wanted to be like, okay, the only thing I was tired of is the redundancy of the tracking. But the tracking is my picture. The tracking is telling myself the accountability. So keeping me accountable, even though I don't want to do it, that's what kept me going to complete it. Because, it there are times when you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. It's redundant. Even the workouts, I told you I felt like I was doing the same thing all the time, all the time. But now I'm able to look back and be like, I started at this weight. I'm at this weight now with I'm stronger. It shows my strength. It shows me how much stronger. And then the repetitiveness
Yeah.
of it, I'm starting to see it forming, like sculpting on my body. And
Yeah.
the form is
There's a
starting to
rhyme.
form better. So it's good.
Yeah, beautiful. You mentioned a great point there. Don't shy away from what you seem as boring or mundane or repetitive, because
Hmm.
that right there, if you
Hmm.
stick through with that resistance, is what leads to the breakthrough. Because with the techniques you learn, the progressive overload, discipline, self accountability, all these things are boring layman's term. However, you have to find what can you do to spice it up, such as like, okay, I'm
Hmm.
getting stronger. Okay, I'm getting more tone definition because of this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, um, what feedback or takeaways, big takeaways, would you say to someone who's in your position, who's let's say in their 40s or 50s, they've tried many things before, or just like your past self, if you didn't come across me, but you're kind of hesitant, kind of on the fence, skeptical. You've tried so many things, like, okay, who's going to say I'm not going to fail again? What would you say to that version of yourself or someone who's watching who may be in that position?
You're worth it. You're worth it. Because you're the only one that could be your success, and you're the only one that can be your downfall. So it's your choice which version of yourself you want to be. But know that you're worth it. And self-love is so important because you have to love yourself first to know that that's how you love. You have to know what you love about yourself, what you want to change about yourself. But people won't know how to love you. You got to teach them how to love you, and you got to know how to love you before you can love someone else and teach them how to love you. So you're worth it.
Love that. Yeah, it's that's what it really comes down to is love and freedom, self love and freedom, loving yourself enough to know you deserve better, so that you can have a life of freedom to do the things that you enjoy, to be the best version of yourself. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that.